Now we will discuss about hypocalcemia and its case presentation. So let's get started. So clinical case number 2. Previously we have discussed about vitamin D deficient rickets in case number 1. So today we will be discussing hypocalcemia. A 10-day-old boy was admitted with new onset focal seizure, arm leg twitching, right-sided hand turning up, lip smacking for last 30 minutes. There is no history of fever, no history of trauma, sick contacts or neonatal sick risk factors, and he was breastfed and supplemented with formula. Okay, so these are the complaint. Okay, now we took the history of mother during her pregnancy. Pregnancy was unremarkable. Baby was born at term and the birth weight was 4.1 kg. Okay, so there is no history of preterm pregnancy delivery or there is no low birth weight. Okay. So from here we got some points: focal seizure, arm leg twitching, right-sided hand turning, arm lip smacking for last 30 minutes, no history of fever, trauma, contacts or something else, history of breastfeeding with formula supplemented. Okay, that means there is no deficiency of vitamin D as the baby was supplemented with formula milk. Okay, on examination we got the baby was afebrile and the vital signs are within normal limit. What about investigation? The renal function test was normal. What about serum calcium? Serum calcium was lowered. Normal level is 1.16 to 2.66 millimole per liter. Okay. So here we have serum calcium 1 to 8 millimole per liter. What about ionized calcium? That is also lowered. That is 0.82. Serum phosphorus, serum phosphate level is 3.30 millimole per liter. Okay, with normal or little bit higher range. Plasma glucose is normal. Serum 25 hydroxy vitamin D3, it is lowered. Okay, normal is 27 to 110 millimole per liter. Serum 125 dihydroxy vitamin D3, that is 173 within normal range, but serum PTH is higher. So we got this type of blood reports. So from this type of blood reports we can easily diagnose that patient is suffering from hypocalcemia. Now coming to the discussion. Okay, so patient is having symptomatic hypocalcemia. So what are the signs of hypocalcemia? There are 3 signs of hypocalcemia. One is hypotonia, apnea and tetany in case of neonates. Okay, so what is symptomatic hypocalcemia? So it is said that if the serum calcium level is less than 8 milligram per dl in case of term and less than 7 milligram per dl in case of preterm, we can call it that the neonate is suffering from symptomatic hypocalcemia. Okay, so let's go to the point, next point, that is symptomatic hypocalcemia without rickets. So what is that? What are the factors or causes of symptomatic hypocalcemia without rickets? So those causes all are maternal causes. Okay, so maternal hypovitaminosis of vitamin D is the main cause. So if the mother is dark-skinned, if there is lack of maternal sun exposure, if the maternal diet is less, decrease in vitamin D during his pregnancy and lactation, if she is living in extremes of latitude, if being born, the baby is born in winter months, okay, those are the causes of symptomatic hypocalcemia without rickets. Now coming to the discussion of neonatal hypocalcemia. So we can divide it into 2 categories. One is early onset neonatal hypocalcemia and late onset neonatal hypocalcemia. So early onset means the symptoms of and signs of hypocalcemia appears within 1 to 2 days of birth. Okay. What about late onset? The symptoms and signs appear after 3 days of birth. So neonatal hypocalcemia causes are always congenital with hypoparathyroidism, Dye-George syndrome with agenesis or dysgenesis of parathyroid gland. Okay. So what are the risk factor of this neonatal hypocalcemia? Number 1, prematurity. Okay. Number 2, being small for gestational age, that means HGA babies, and maternal diabetes, perinatal asphyxia, and etc. So these are the main causes. Parathyroid hormone, it helps to maintain calcium level normal when the constant infusion of the ionized calcium across the placenta is interrupted at birth. Okay. So what happens in case of small for gestational age babies? There is transient relative hypoparathyroidism. What about diabetic mother? There is hyperparathyroidism. In case of perinatal asphyxia, there is increased calcitonin. Serum calcitonin is increased. That inhibits calcium release from bone. So ultimately hypocalcemia will be there. In case of phosphaturic renal diseases, so response to parathyroid hormone is absent, ultimately leads to hypocalcemia. Let's coming to the point, that is late onset hypocalcemia. So what are the causes of late onset hypocalcemia? Two main causes are there. One is early ingestion of cow's milk. Number two, formula preparation with too high phosphate load. Okay. So what are the clinical features of late onset hypocalcemia? Number one, jitteriness. Number two, muscle jerking, generalized focal seizures, stridor due to laryngospasm, wheezing due to bronchospasm, vomiting due to pylospasm, and prolonged QT or ECG. What about lab investigation? So we'll have to do those kind of serum or blood test for both maternal and infant. Okay. So 25 hydroxy vitamin D, 125 dihydroxy vitamin D, urinary calcium to creatinine ratio, then renal function test and X-ray of both wrist joint and ankle joints. We have to do all the investigations. And before giving any treatment, we should prevent the situation. So for prevention, we should give 400 international unit of vitamin D3 per day to the pregnant mother. So thus, we can avoid any case of early onset or late onset hypocalcemia in neonates. Then coming to the treatment. So in case of early onset neonatal hypocalcemia, there are three treatment options. Number one, if the neonate is asymptomatic and calcium levels is more than 7 mg per dl and ionized calcium level is more than 3.5 mg per dl, no treatment is required. Then coming to the second option, the baby is starved, but the calcium level is less than 7 mg per dl and the baby is preterm but calcium level is less than 6 mg per dl. So we'll have to start the treatment. What will be the treatment? 2 mg per kg, 10% calcium gluconate should be infused very slowly through IV cannula over 30 minutes. And we'll have to know some points for that. Too rapid infusion can cause bradycardia, and soft tissue infiltration by calcium solution can cause irritation, damage of the skin and necrosis of the tissues. So we'll have to remember those things during giving this treatment, that is 2 ml per kg of 10% calcium gluconate, slow IV infusion for 30 minutes. What about the late onset treatment? So for late onset hypocalcemia, so addition of vitamin D3 and calcium in the formula feeding. Calcium and phosphorus ratio should be maintained 4:1 until calcium levels is normalized or maintained. Okay. So oral calcium preparations have high sucrose content, and for preterm babies that will cause diarrhea.